Hello and welcome to this tutorial on transparent materials, texture animation and vegetation inside Shiva 3D. In this video we are going to work with a model pack by Dexsoft Multimedia called Northern Vegetation, which is currently available in our developer store. It contains various models like this spruce, this bush, as well as texture maps for grass layers. All models have been prepared to work flawlessly with the Shiva terrain system, so that you can build open-world, stunning environments with just a few clicks. Let's have a look at the setup for the individual models. You notice that the models are made of two parts, the stem and the leaves. Instead of being a group, however, one tree is a single model with multiple subsets that carry the different materials needed. Groups would not work well with the Shiva terrain system. The stem material contains no surprises. It is a parallax mapped material with per pixel lighting that can receive dynamic shadows, as you can see here. The leaf material is much more interesting. It is normal mapped and per pixel lit as well, but does not receive shadows. Shadow casting with transparent materials is no problem, shadow reception on the other hand is. The diffuse texture for the leaves contains transparency information called an alpha channel. Using the Z-shape produces the most accurate result in terms of rendering order. However, it also puts unwanted borders around the non-transparent sections. Switch the Z-shell off whenever you can to get a prettier result. Disabling depth right completely looks best in terms of border drawing, but it is likely to produce rendering order errors, as you can see with the lower branches on this tree that suddenly appear to be on top of upper branches. Adjusting the alpha ref slider determines the strength of the border. I would recommend a value of slightly under 0.5. Lower values result in a bigger border, while higher values cut off too much of the model itself. Now let us see our work in action. For this demonstration I have prepared a square patch of land with various layers of grass, bushes and spruces. It does look quite nice, but also a little sterile and lifeless. In fact, as you can see here with another vegetation pack rendered in a different engine, computer-generated vegetation in general does have the tendency to look alien and cold when not animated. Fortunately in Shiva, grass layers are all animated, which makes this scene instantly much more believable. The trees, however, are not, and stand as lifeless as before. Animating the whole forest with bones and anim clips is not only time-consuming for the developer, but requires a lot of processing power on your client machine as well. I'm going to teach you a little trick that gets rid of that problem without changing the model at all. We are going to animate the material. Let us duplicate the leaf material first and rename it accordingly. The key to texture animation is the FX button under the Effect Map 0 slot. In order to make it work, make sure that both the normal and specular maps are following the diffuse map coordinates. Enable the texture mapping modifier. We are going to adjust the wave hue and scale hue parameters. For a smooth and periodic change over time, we reduce the sinus curve and set amplitude and frequency to 1. This means we will have 100% scrolling on the U-axis in exactly 1 second. Of course, this is just the first step. Let us tone down the amplitude first, until you are satisfied and no texture leaves the boundaries of the geometry. Then turn down the frequency. Scaling hue instead of shifting the coordinates works as well. However, it can sometimes look more like a breathing and growing effect than leaves moving in the wind. Of course, you can combine the two effects, as well as throw in a little V-axis modification to make it even more interesting. Going back to our scene, not a lot seems to have changed, but as soon as you're getting close to a tree, we can see that it seems much more alive now and less sterile than before. And there you have it, an animated tree scene that took us hardly any work in the material editor, yet improved the scene substantially.